Hey guys, Gary the Gremlin here, but I can't deal with that now. Right off the bat, I feel it's worth addressing that last time I posted a video, like a real full video like this, I had 900-ish subscribers. Now we're at however many I just put on the screen. Unironically, it goes up a couple hundred each day, so I have no way of knowing how many I'll have by the time this video goes up. And if you'll allow me, I'd like to give a brief and exciting channel update for all my loyal subscribers and to all my new friends. Hi, I'm Gary the Gremlin, and I love me some dinosaur and transformer toys. You googly gang may have noticed that it's been a long time since the usual weekly Saturday video upload, and that was with good reason. Shorts do really well. Most of my current subscribers are here from Shorts. So right now, I've been spending most of my time crafting fun and engaging shorts and then making a video occasionally in my spare time. This will be the format going forward until I decide to change it up again, as I inevitably will. So, with my mind made up and my heart ready for this new channel direction, I knew that the return of my first real, non-short video must be something special. Something that really knocks the people off their feet. Should I make a video on some of my favorite old Kenner Jurassic Park toys? Or a video on the giant Mattel Mosasaurus? Or maybe even revisit a fan favorite like the Hammond Collection Parasaurolophus and Baryonyx? Nope, you've seen the thumbnail. Today we're reviewing the Jurassic World Dino Trackers line Pyroraptor. Yeah, I know, right? If you're thinking to yourself right now, that's kind of underwhelming, I hope I can change your feelings on that with this video. I haven't bought mainline Jurassic Mattel figures in years. It's something I used to do a lot more, but after the first year or two, I lost interest. But that original Fallen Kingdom line was amazing. Like I joked a minute ago, I love the Jurassic Park Kenner line, as does any self-respecting Jurassic fan. Finding those toys at yard sales and thrift stores was a staple of my childhood, and I was beyond excited to get them. I was a kid for the wasteland between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World, where Jurassic dinosaur toys were hard to come by. Kenner toys were a treat, and that line still remains the golden standard of Jurassic Park toys. From the realistic sculpts and paint of that nostalgic first wave to the sheer neon insanity that the Lost World toy line became, it was a wonderful thing. I have a personal soft spot for the Jurassic Park 3 toy line. I think it was no slump, and the Jurassic Park 2009 toy line cannot be forgotten as well. But then, there were really no Jurassic toys till Jurassic World, where Hasbro's toys were less than great. I do not look back on this period fondly, and those horrible Hasbro toys is what made Mattel getting the license feel like the return of the king. Full force, that Fallen Kingdom line landed in wonderful bright colors with great detail and just clearly a place of love from the Mattel team. I remember seeing this image right here, for the first time in 2018 and having my jaw drop. Pleasant, bright pastel colors? Carnotaurus?
Wow.
Scale that made sense?
Wow.
Metriacanthosaurus.
Wow.
A damn Mosasaurus that was the biggest figure I'd ever seen at the time.
Wow.
This was the start of the Jurassic Renaissance. The first wave was, and still is to me, fantastic, amazing, beautiful. There are not enough kind words for it. But eventually, things got a little cartoony for my taste, and Mattel seemed to start struggling with their budget. Paint schemes got a lot less complex, and Mattel would start leaving tails and toenails completely unpainted. Once Hammond Collection kicked off, I was really truly out of the mainline stuff, because the HC is really what I wanted all along. Well-articulated, screen-accurate depictions of the dinos. Perfect. And in all this time, only one little mainline series caught my eye. A brief little run from around the time of Jurassic World Dominion, the Dino Trackers line. Sporting some nice friendly packaging with Blue and her baby, as well as a unique logo and box color for whichever temperate climate the dinosaur species featured lived in. Many of the species in this line seemed really appealing to me. Even one of my favorite dinosaurs ever, the Borealopelta, managed to get a toy during this line, something which makes me really happy. And also equally sad, because now my eBay hunt must begin to track that figure down. Is that why they named it Dino Trackers? To spite me while I search for them online? Evil. Evil, Mattel. Point is, there's some really cool species in this line that were done sort of without the Mattel over-the-top cartooniness that got me out of the line in the first place. Look at this gorgeous Hanosaurus. Or this Kronosaurus. This infant Brachiosaurus? Adorable. Wow. Austroraptor? I'll stop listing species, you get the point. They all look great. Exiting my history lesson and bringing it back round to the subject of today's video, this delicious little Pyroraptor's box art shows that he lives in a forest climate by these ferns, and this nice deep green. I love that, as it's just a little bit of extra world building that will inform a curious kid picking this up to maybe try and learn something about dinosaurs and where they lived. It feels like a bit of a shame to take him out of his card, considering how much I just talked about how I love the fun design, but business is business. This might be Mattel's most creative and best executed color scheme to date. It reminds me of the thought process behind the Beasts of the Mesozoic figures. Here's the Dilophosaurus from that line, which has its colors based on that of the double-crested cormorant. Is it cormorant or cormorant? Let me know in the comments, bird fans. I suppose I shouldn't call them birds, I should call them living dinosaurs. Let me know in the comments, living dinosaur fans. I have always thought this to be a genius approach when making dinosaur toys. Yeah, base their colors off living dinosaurs, the birds. It's honestly so obvious, but perfect. Mattel must have been thinking a similar creative thing when they cooked this up. This is loosely based on the blue and yellow macaw. I say loosely because it's definitely missing some green, which would really tie the color scheme together, and though that's a shame, these colors are still very fun. I am actually the world's biggest hater of the Dominion Pyroraptor design. It makes my blood boil. It always seems to me that modern Jurassic stuff is stuck 25 years behind where current science is at, and the Pyroraptor is a chief example of that. The filmmakers wanted to give us a feathered dinosaur, and the best they could do was a Jurassic Park raptor that's been lazily draped in feathers. It's not just the scientific accuracy of it that frustrates me, but more just how the design looks. The teeth and the eyes and the evil grin and all that, it's just too much. It doesn't look like a real animal, it looks like an evil Muppet, and to me, that's upsetting. But somehow, out of the drab burgundy colors with something more refreshing and exotic, those feelings have dissipated. I don't mind it anymore. This guy is my friend. Sure, I think there's a little more they could have done with his figure, as it bothers me that the legs are completely unpainted, but I get the limitations on a low-budget figure. I'm tempted to get out some paint myself and fix those claws up, but I don't know if I can do anything about the lack of blue. I don't enjoy how it goes straight from blue to yellow. Just the slightest amount of blue striping or fading, like what's here on the side, would have made it look fine. I do really love the white on the face, as well as the detail there. It's not quite the same as what you'd get on a Hammond Collection version, but it's not bad either. Overall, the sculpting on this toy is pretty good. It loses a little bit of definition in some places, but there's nowhere where it's completely flat or unfinished. The teeth are definitely a sore spot for me. It kind of looks less like teeth and more like he's got bananas stuck in his gums. At least they are painted, as well as the inside of the mouth too, which is great. Mattel's made massive strides in the tooth department lately. The newest Hammond Collection toys all have rubber teeth, which means they look sharp but aren't actually at all. I know there's a new Jurassic World Rebirth set exclusive to Target, which I think has the first instance of a mainline toy with the rubber teeth, but I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. Articulation isn't really this guy's strong suit, but I'm fine with that. It's not really what he's here for, you know? He's a mainline toy. He's got a hinge and swivel at the neck, which is above and beyond as far as I'm concerned, as well as an opening and closing jaw and a basic rotation at each limb. Oh, and the tail can swivel, sure. I'm proud of him. He's got the basics down at least. Now, at first I thought he had some sort of action gimmick where this button on his back would make him do something, but then I realized I had forgotten that this is in fact part of Mattel's Scan Series thingamajig. Yes, there's an app you can download, and then you can scan the code and unlock this version of the dinosaur, plus maybe some information, and, oh, play a knockoff version of Subway Surfers, where I tried my hardest to die and you literally can't. I mean, it's dumb, but same as the box, it's a fun and fairly cheap way to add some more storytelling and adventure to these toys, so I appreciate it. I do really wish it was done any other way than this, though. This comes off a little disturbing and weird. It's like a body horror thing, like some Cronenbergian clipboard you can viciously slide out of the poor animal's back to check its zip code. I know some of the other toys had the code under the foot, and that seems a little less conspicuous. Maybe Mattel thinks these feet are a little too small to fit a code under, but I certainly don't. Look at them, big old stompers. And here's another raptor that has smaller feet and a code, so yeah, I don't know. As for a size comparison, let's start out with two of the Jurassic Park Kenner figures that I talked about for so long. I mean, it's a pretty comparable size between these two, though again, you are kind of looking at a big difference paint-wise. Obviously, the Pyro is going for a more different style, but these older guys, though maybe more monochromatic, still have their nails painted and such. Here he is next to some Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, which he looks unsurprisingly more in line with. I think all the colors work here together. All these figures kind of share a blue and yellow / orange thing going on. Here, most fittingly, he's with some of his fellow Mattel buddies, where to be honest, he looks a lot more out of place than the Beasts of the Mesozoic guys. It's kind of funny how much a paint scheme changes things for him. He's a fairly decent size, just around 7.5 inches long and maybe like 3 inches high on a good day. He's maybe a bit more horizontal than the regular standard Mattel Raptor, which makes him longer, but not anywhere near as tall. Here's the channel mascot, my trusty Action Master Grimlock, in place of a 1/18th scale human, just because I don't have any with me right now. Next to him, I'd say that the Pyroraptor looks a little bit too big. Not even talking about scientific accuracy-wise, but just talking about film accuracy. I only saw Dominion once, against my will, but I seem to remember that the film Pyroraptor was a lot smaller and shorter than this. We'll just play pretend, who knows? Maybe this blue guy is a larger species of Pyroraptor. Sure, why not? Overall, gang, I'm pretty happy with this guy. He does stand out a little bit on my shelf when with the Hammond Collection dinosaurs, as he is noticeably more awkwardly proportioned, but I still like him a lot. Truth be told, he reminds me a lot of this Transformer right here, the Walmart exclusive G2 Sideswipe. Listen, I'm like every normal Transformer fan. I like Sideswipe and his boring red color scheme just fine. But why would I spend money to get that when this fun deco exists and it looks like it just drove out of Miami? And like G2 Sideswipe, I appreciate the Dino Tracker's Pyroraptor for doing something brave, something daring, something bold. And I just love him because I think it really worked out. However, my dream here would be that the Hammond Collection gets a little bit more creative, just like this guy's deco. I've never seen a Hammond Collection figure that isn't bought up in droves and then resold on eBay for 3 times the price at least. People love these toys more than they love crack, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind more of them on shelves, even if it was wacky repaints. I'd love to see this color scheme applied to the Hammond Collection Pyroraptor mold, as well as other classic color schemes. Give us another repaint that looks like the level 40 Velociraptor from the Jurassic World Builder game. Repaint the Parasaurolophus to the first movie colors. I'd just eat up stuff like that, and the franchise is full of it. I don't know, guys. The Transformers collector scene is a thing I'm pretty familiar with, and it's full of wild figures from the most forgotten corners of the franchise. And I'd love if the Jurassic scene could catch up to that. The Target Legacy Reimagined line is doing a great job of that, but I want those paint schemes on good, posable, detailed toys now. Anyways, this has been a very long-winded and ranty video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I want to thank you all again for 10,000 subscribers. It is insane. I've got some good things cooking in the review zone, so keep your eyes tuned to this space. Leave a comment about what you thought of this video and what your dream Jurassic repaint would be. I'm Gary the Gremlin, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.